Hi guys, welcome to this channel. Yeah, it is awesome having you join us again in this training session. So if I told you that in just few clicks to turn a boring Excel data into a sleek interactive dashboard that your boss can't stop talking about. In this video, I'll be showing how you can build an interactive dashboard like this with timelines that affects all visuals and of course sliders inserted. And once you're done, you can go ahead and clear the filters and you can share the dashboard to your colleagues. Okay, to join me, let's dive in and let's do this. Okay, so let's say you have this data. Assume that this is data for Nathan's Enterprises for sales of laptop, monitor, printers, and the rest. And then you want to quickly turn this into a dashboard with very few clicks. First, I'd like to mention that if you do not have any background or understanding of pivot charts or pivot tables, I will encourage you to go ahead and check my previous video where I've done an extensive training on how to create pivot tables and pivot charts. Okay, but just for the sake of this training, I will go on to do a little bit of that before we proceed. And in just a few minutes, the first thing you need to do to create a dashboard with Excel is to turn your data into a table. And this is pretty straightforward. Click into data, go to insert, and then you click table. You can also achieve this by clicking Control T. All right, so you observe that Excel automatically highlights all the data available. Once this is done, you have the option my table has headers. In this case, our table does, and then you OK it. All right, so once that is done, we want to give this table in a table design. So the table name at the moment is table 1. I'll call it sales data. Hit enter, and that becomes the name. The next thing we'll do is to go on and insert pivot table. So what pivot table does is summarize your data the way you want it, allowing that flexibility to draw data into rows, columns, slicers, and values. Okay, so quickly we'll click on pivot table from insert, and I will choose new worksheets, and then I will click OK. All right, so you will notice that all the columns are already here, and that's being available. We'll just quickly, the first visualization we would like to do is to see how our products are performing. All right. Okay, so we'd like to first see the total sale of products in dollars. Okay, so if you take a look, you will see that the numbers are available here, all summarized. So at the moment, this is sum of. So you could actually change it to whatever you want. If you click value fit settings, you can change to sum, count, average, and all of that. So we are okay with sum, and we can leave it at that. And right from here, we can also click number formats, choose number, and leave it at 2 decimal places. And then we'll click OK. So we'll have our data nicely formatted. All right, so I could come over here as well. And then, okay, we could just, rename the column header, and of course turn this to products. Okay, I like to make it products. Okay, so that done. And of course a whole lot that you can actually achieve with your pivots charts if you want, but this is not the class for that. You could actually consult our previous video to deal with this. So the next thing we'll do is to quickly insert charts to analyze. Because we are looking at products data across total sales, I would like to use a bar chart for this, or a column chart. All right, so for a start, let's put this on the bar chart and then we OK it. All right, so we'll have our first visual. Okay, so now that this is available, I can go on and do some editing if I click on plus. Okay, It is quite obvious that these are products, so I can go on and remove um, axis. Okay, so I can remove the horizontal axis. Okay, I'll leave that there. Um, of course, I can remove titles, I can remove legends, and all of that. Okay, so I don't need chapter title because it's quite clear that this is a plot of sales, total sales against products. All right, so that's being available. I will also go on and switch off the legend. Um, okay, so you will see what the legend is. So there is no need for this. Our color is in harmony. All right, and we already have labels for the products. I'll take that off. And then the grid lines, which makes it look like a plot, I'll also switch that off so you can see that it's beginning to look like a proper chart. Okay, so if you're happy with this, we can leave it as is and move on. If you want to make any other changes, you just go on and switch around, put things where you want it to be, and then you are happy. So from there, you can see that Monitor gives Nathan Enterprises the biggest sales. So I would like to sell more of monitors. Definitely manually type in the length and the width of the chart the way I want it to be. Okay, so let's say I'm comfortable with this. I'll go back to my data and then insert another chart. Okay, so this one I'll move a bit quickly. All right, so we are already here. Insert pivot table. Okay, and then go back here. So let's say we want to do the units sold across regions. Okay, so this is definitely going to look like the previous one. Of course, when you're looking at this, you would want to look at your bar. So let's call these regions total sales. All right, so I can do this. Let me resist. I'll just switch it around to total sale. Okay, just switch it around a little, and then it allows us. Okay, so um, this is definitely to be a sum. Just confirm that you're summing. Okay, and because it's a dollarized payment, I can just click here and change it to currency. All right, so that's done. So we are looking at our regions here, okay, and then by across total sales there. Okay, so that's done. So down. Okay, just go on insert the charts the way you want. Pivot charts again. All right, so this time around I'll choose a bar and then I'll allow it to go horizontal. All right, so I have this. Okay, that's created. I can as well come over here, switch things around. I like the colors to be a bit different. I'll take off the title, right? And then I'll take off the legend. I'll take off the horizontal axis. Then I'll put on the data label, right? So I can allow it to be at the center. And then I'll change the color, all right? So we have more options there. So you can switch things around the way you want. All right, so test options, test outline. Okay, so we have a bunch of options really. Test view, not really. Okay, so just pick this. All right, so I have a bunch of options to play around with, and if that doesn't meet your expectation, you can always go on and make your switches. All right, so in this case, I would like to. All right, so have the leader there, we have the legend keys, we have leader lines, and so on and so on. All right, so back to the leader, we have this metadata number. All right, so we have this category general. We're a bit comfortable with that, so just move it on. All right, so I'll come back here, back to data labels. All right, back to options. And then we look at color. Okay, so at the moment the color is black. All right, so we can decide to play around colors the way we want. Let me decide to make this white. Okay, and yeah, we should be good with white. And this is better. Okay, so that's done. I'll just come here, this as well. Then I would like to name some of these sheets so that it doesn't become confusing. I'll call this sales by products, while I'll call this sales by region. All right, and then I'll call this sales data. Okay, so that's done. I'll create, okay, so for this as well, let's just quickly do the same thing, switch on the grid lines, and we should be happy. Hopefully. Okay, that's done. I'll create another sheet and then I'll call this dashboard. All right, so I'll copy my charts and piece it together on the dashboard sheet. So I'll paste this here, adjust the way I want, adjust the way you want, drag things around. Okay, I'll also copy this. All right, so I've got sales by region. So we need sales by products. Just pull this. All right, I'll bring it here. Okay, so I'll switch these around. Just make this come over. Okay, so these are just all of the editings you can do to get the dashboard to take the shape and the form that you may require. Okay, so I'll go on, highlight the two, and just give it, say, 7 by 8 and 10. All right, so let's get it down to that form. And of course, we can always do lots of editing later. Okay, so I'll just click and drag. All right, so I will then go on and on my view, I can switch up grid lines. You will see that this is beginning to look a lot more like a dashboard than a normal Excel work. Okay, this done. I will also take this up, so I'll just have a little more space to work with. Okay, so of course you can go ahead and give your dashboard a title. All right, you can also go on to do lots of modifications as you may want. All right, so in this case, I would go on and switch things around. Okay, so let's go on and insert some fanciful things really quickly. So you can come to illustrations, click on shapes, select a rectangle, click to insert, quickly adjust, and just get it the way you want it to be. All right, just to make your dashboard a bit fanciful. Okay, so I'll go on and color this to a green. All right, I'm happy with that. Okay, so I'll just switch it around a little more. Okay, and then pick up the outline if that is this. Okay, so we are good. Okay, so I'll just bring this down a little, creating some space at the top, and then I'll call this, if that's a test. All right, so at the top, I'll call this Nathan Enterprises dashboard. Okay, so I'll just move this a little up, give it some space, give it some extra fonts, make it bold, and of course, uh, switch it around the way you want. All right, so you will see that it begins to look a lot more like a dashboard than a regular Excel file. Okay, so let's start, of course, and do all the formatting, scale it as much as you want it to be. And the moment you're happy, you let it go. All right, so the next thing I'll just put in here, I'll go back to my sales data. All right, so I'll get in another sheet, and then get in another one. So you see it already picks sales data. I'll just allow it come on a new sheet. This time around, I want to look at date versus units sold. All right, so I need to know the days where I made the highest sales. All right, so I just do that plot. Then and again, I will insert a pivot chart this time around because it's a time series data or a date series data. I'm going for a line chart. All right, so I'll pick that. All right, so switch things off if I need to. Turn on the grid line. Alright, so I will okay, take up the legend, and then I will also go on to switch things off. Alright, so this is fine really. Alright, so giving you that option to pick what you would want, and of course you can expand the entire view to get this view, which I would prefer at the moment. Okay, so that's done. I'll switch off. Okay, so alright, so I'm quite comfortable with this. I'll just go and copy this and move it to the dashboard. I'll bring it down. Alright, so that's I'm seeing. Okay. Alright, so the next thing I would like to insert is plots. Okay, so I would also like to take a look at units of products sold. Okay, so for that, I like to use the pie chart. So just also go on insert in a new worksheet, and then I will rename this products units. Alright, so just go on and then I'll pick. Okay, so I'll just make this sold, and then I will go on. So you can also get your pivot charts from the insert ribbon. Alright, so for this I like to just do a simple pie. Preferably do not chart, depending on what you want. So it's the same way. I'll just put up the title, allow the legend, and then I'll switch on the labels. Alright, so I'll go on and make some switches on the color. Okay, so this goes to desktop showings color. I like to maintain a white, so I'll choose white. Just a little. Okay, and then I'll just take it and take it to my dashboard. Okay, so you can see that our dashboard is gradually coming together. So you may also want to add some averages and totals at the top here. Remember that this is still an Excel sheet, so you can actually get to do some of those configurations. Alright, so I can go on and highlight this too, and then I'll merge it, and then I'll call it total sales. It's really up to you. Okay, so for that, I'll just make the center, and then I'll also highlight this, merge it, and then I'll sum it. I'll call it sum of sales, right? So I'll pick my sales sheets, and then I'll pick everything. Okay, so so back here. I think we missed or something. Alright, so there's a sum of sales data beginning to end. Alright, so I'll just cover up and then I'll hit enter. Okay, so I'll center this up and change this to currency. Right. I like to change this to the currency where I make this money at the moment. Alright, so let's just go down straight on the dollar symbol. Alright, so you just see, of course, I can of course make this bold, and then I can always switch things around the way I want it to be. Right, so I can make this 10. Alright, so it just gives me that flexibility to turn the configurations around the way I would like it to be. Okay, so the same way, you can go ahead and insert any other thing. So you can insert average sales, right? Okay, you can insert any other thing. So let's just insert. Okay, so let's just do an average sales. All right. So we just got okay. So try to look at total number of unique products sold, and then perhaps average sales. We'll just keep it at that at the moment. Okay, so we'll just repeat, copy, paste, shift a bit, paste. Okay, so just come over here. I like this to be my average. So on the average, how much do I sell? Okay, so this is definitely going to be a peak from sales data. Control Shift, close it up. So on the average, I sell $4,800. All right, per day. So it just depends on really. You can actually do complex calculations if you want to. All right. We are keeping this really pretty simple at this high level. Okay, so what else do we want to look at? Total number of products. Okay, so I'll just click and drag this. Sure, it's going to say no. Alright, so just do same match, expand, drag this little as well, allow it to say no. Okay, and then we'll match again. Okay, so and then expand that. So our dashboard is beautifully coming together. Alright, so here, just copy again, paste again. I missed that, sorry. Okay, and then you would do your editing, and you can just call this unique products. Alright, so I'll just expand this, and I can turn this to count extent. Alright. So we have the extent count. So it counts non-blank cells in the field of records including normal conditions placement. So I'll just do a count A, and then I'll pick unique. Then I'll pick the range. So I'll close this and close this. So it gives me 5. Definitely this is not currency, so I'll format it as number. I won't just like that be, so this shouldn't be in decimal places, so I'll just take off those decimals. Okay, so just verify things a bit. Our unique products here, if you do a filter, you have 5 unique products. And of course, if you try to take a look at our sales by products, we have a total of $480,000 made within the periods. Okay, so which shows our calculations are all good. Alright, so that done, you can actually go on and add a few more things just to spice things up a bit. But really, this is absolutely up to you. Alright, so you can go on and add icons here from shapes, and of course we have icons as well that tries to connect to the internet. Alright, here. Okay, so we just scroll around and pick an icon that speaks to what you're trying to do. Of course, you can also go online to download the shape of your choice from the internet. So if I choose to insert that, it just downloads because it connects to the internet, and then I can move it around, adjust it the way I want, and then I can comfortably drop it there. Alright, so if this speaks to what you really have in mind, then you're good to go. Alright, so let's adjust this to average sales. Alright, I will click to expand. Of course, all of this begins to piece together. Alright, so you can go on and add icons to these other ones if you want, and format it the way you would like it to appear. Alright, so you can also make the number bigger if that is your choice. Okay, so you just go on and apply all kinds of formatting that you may want. Okay, so just make the title less and then the number bigger. Okay, so things are beginning to look a lot better. Right, so borders, you can just go on and insert a slicer. Okay, so if you go to insert, you would find slicers on timeline. Alright, so first I like to choose a timeline. So that didn't quite give that. So I will go back, select any of the pivot tables, go back to pivot analyze. Alright, and then I'll choose to insert a timeline. Alright, so okay, this is for slicer. In the moment we want to insert a timeline, so I'll just come back here. Pivot table analyze. Alright, and then come to insert timeline, then I'll choose it. Okay, so now I have a timeline. Can bring it down, and then I'll copy it and paste it somewhere around. Okay, so this done. I like my timeline to be at the top, so I'll just select, click, and then hold down my control key, select all the charts and group. Right click to group. Alright, so undo that. And please successfully grouped. I'm not sure that works. I'll pick this, pick this, pick this, pick this, and pick this. Right click, group, and then when I click, I'll drag to the end, and then I'll drag it a little bit down to the left. Okay, so push this around, click again, click at the very tip, and then I'll drag this around. I'll click again, then I will adjust the slicer. to fit in the way I want it to be. So I'll move this a little, move this a little, and then I have my sliders. Okay, so if I select a month, alright, so let me zoom this out a little so that you can see the entire view at once. So if I select a month, at the moment you would see that only one chart adjusts, alright, as I make those selections. But this may not be what you want to do. You definitely would want your timeline to affect all the charts. What do you do? Right click on timeline, click on report connections, and then select all the charts. Okay, so you now see that when you select all the charts and just so this is how you can achieve interaction on your dashboard. Okay, so if you're comfortable, you click on this icon to return it to how it used to be. All right, so I'll go on to insert some extra slicers here and there. So I'll just click on insert. Okay, so I'll just click on insert, PivotTable analyze, and then I'll choose a slicer. So I like to slice by region. I like to slice by product. Okay, I think I'm comfortable with this too. So I'll click OK. Alright, so those two slicers now appears. So I'll just click the two, hold my control key, copy, and then bring it to my dashboard. Alright, so I'll take this up and adjust it accordingly. And then I'll take this up as well. Okay, so it's beginning to look, so you see that our dashboard is beginning to look like what we want it to be. So similarly, I'll just click the two, right click. Alright, so that doesn't give that, so I'll just click on any of the sliders, escape, click on report connection, select all the charts. Do the same for this. Click on any of the sliders with filters. Okay, so now I can see what I'm doing across products. You can also see what I'm doing in each region, right, for clear, and also clear to return to what we used to have. Okay, so you can of course go on and add a little more beautification if you want. Alright, so you can play around with the colors, play around with the formats until you get it to be the way you want it to be. Another thing you can do is to go to, you can actually go to page layouts, go to colors, and again, okay, so let me stick to this for now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Alright, so just make it look the way you want it to be. And the moment you're comfortable, you let it go. Okay. So I'll just stick to that. Stick to this. And okay, so you now see that with very few clicks here and there, we've been able to build a dashboard for Nathan Enterprises. So I can just now wake up in the morning and then I'll take a look and I'll see what's happening across my business. All right, so that said, I want to, so next question is, what if I have new data? How does that data come up in the dashboard? All right, so we'll just go on and add into the table. I'll just copy this, come here. This is what I'll do. All right, so I will go to the last row and just below it, I'll paste the new data. The moment I paste it, all right, because it is formatted as a table expands to accommodate that data. So how do I, all right, then make it reflect in my dashboard? So if I come back to my dashboard page and I open it and I click on data, then I'll click refresh all. The data refreshes. Now you can see that table is now available. All right, so this is table there. So you can see that table is now available as a product. So this is how you can just quickly, this is how you can get your dashboard updated by just clicking a refresh button. All right, so let's say you are done visualizing, okay, and you want your team members to be able to access your dashboard. Okay, so what we're just going to do now is to just come over here. How about all of these sheets that are scattered everywhere in the Excel file? So what we're going to do is to just go on and click and hide all the sheets. All right. Okay, so just click every other sheet here and then hide. Okay, so I'll just click this, hide this, click this, and hide this, hide this, hide this as well. And then I'll also hide this. So now, okay, I'll also hide this guy. Great. So now I'm left with only the dashboard sheet. So if I want to publish this dashboard, all I need to do is to come over here and click on share. So the moment you click on share, all right, you would enter the email address of the recipients, and of course your dashboard gets shared. So the recipients will get an email stating that a dashboard, an Excel file has been shared with them, and when they click, this will become their landing page. All right, so this is how you can build a dashboard in Microsoft Excel with very few clicks here and there. I hope you enjoyed this video. I have so many other Excel videos that I've made right just for you. So if you want to dive deep into understanding pivot charts, or you just want to understand data analysis in general, or you like to gain some good foundation starting up as a newbie in Excel, please go ahead and check my previous videos and you will find it very helpful. Thank you for watching, and please consider subscribing to my channel so as to encourage me to do more videos for you. I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.